Nej, det går inte.
Victory is on land, and here's a close-up of the keel and the problem that follows it. I really thought this was fixed this summer, but it turned out that almost everything was done wrong.
If the old shipyard had done a proper job in the beginning, this would never have happened. Oh my god.
And apparently there's no end to me finding hidden damage because I discovered this, and this injury goes all the way to the balsa core.
And the balsa was soaking wet.
And these delaminations were just covered by putty.
It's all the way into the balsa.
We now have a massive job in front of us. And in this episode, you can watch how we reinforce the keel stump and put the keel back on.
So now I'm filling out these holes that we made to drain the keel stump with the epoxy sparkle.
And while I'm working on this, I should also remind you that if you didn't see how I discovered this problem leading to this fixing damaged keeled and rudder project, you can still make it. It's just to find the episode called Oops, I Hit the Rock here in the feed. Now that this has been evened out, we are ready to begin laminating, and therefore I'm heading over to begin cutting the fiberglass mat. I am learning so much from being a part of this fixing project, but I should state very clearly that I am not a professional boat builder, and everything I do here, I do under the supervision of Papa Shipyard here in Skeppsstad in Sweden. Before we begin laminating, the surface has to be completely clean, and that's why we are washing it with acetone. Here's the resin and hardener of the vinyl ester that we are going to use. Victory's entire hull is made of vinyl ester, and this is one of the reasons why we are using this particular product. Vinyl ester has the benefits of being water resistant, having a relatively short curing time, and also it has a solid strength. It also means that the production time will be a lot faster. One of the most important things to be aware of when you are working with fiberglass is that the mat will be completely soaked in resin. If you have any kind of air in here, it will weaken the construction.
Okay, so what we have done now is that we have made a foundation of new fiberglass. We used very thin fiberglass mat, easy to work with, and it's just for the foundation so that we have something to build from. And now I'm gonna measure and try to cut small pieces of fiberglass mat to rebuild what we have grinded away, especially here and here. So this one is what I thought could go here. Ja.
Lägg den så och så lägger du nästa där.
Okay.
When we are fiberglassing, we are very careful to lay the fabric pieces in an uneven pattern. This ensures that all of the layers bond tightly together, and that's how we are creating a strong, more cohesive structure that works together as a single unified whole. We left it to harden overnight, and the next day we sanded down the irregularities and made ready to lay 4 additional layers of fiberglass on each side. Even though there was only damages on starboard side, it's important to reinforce both sides and make it melt into the original structure.
I have now cut the fiberglass that we need for the next plastering section. So we're gonna lay 4 layers of fiberglass with different materials. So first we're gonna lay 2 of these. This is a combination of fiberglass fabric, and then on the inside you have fiberglass mat. And these 2 layers we're gonna lay directly above each other. Then we need to put a layer of fiberglass mat. This one. This one here you can see you have all of the fibers in random directions. This mat is thin, it's easy to form, it binds the materials very well together, but it doesn't have a lot of strength. Anyway, so that is what that one is good for. Yes, and then we're gonna lay 1 layer of this woven fiberglass fabric. It's a biaxial woven fabric, and it's very thick and very strong. This is iron epoxy, and you just mix it 50-50. And yeah, as the name says, it's very strong epoxy sparkle.
Here we have evened out the differences between the original structure of the hull and the new reinforcement with strong epoxy putty. Later, this will be sanded down and covered by fiberglass, and this gradually transition between the old and new materials is what will bind the parts together into a strong construction. Simultaneously, we also work on the inside of the boat by reinforcing the floor timbers.
Okay, so we cut away here to see how the floor timbers underneath were looking, and then we started grinding, and here we can see that the crack goes all the way through the floor timber, and that has to be rebuilt. Over here where there was also a crack, it's we have the bad part has been grinded away, and we see now that it's not too big a crack here anymore. Over here we also made, this is under the mast step, here there was also a crack, and they have grinded away the back part, but now this is super thin and it will have to be relaminated. What has been done now is that we have sanded away even more of the material here of the hull, and then we have evened out the differences between the new mats and the old and the rest of the hull with epoxy sparkle, and then we have laid new mats all the way from here down here on the keel stump and ending here, one mat there. And then we have done the exact same thing from the other side, from the hole down here and ending here. And the thing now is that we have a structure that is luring into each other and pull in different direction. So it's going to be an extremely strong construction now. And the same situation comes to this area of the hole where we had a big injury here before, is that we have a mat that goes over here, down here, on each side, underneath here, and then covered by the layers from the other sides, making this a much stronger construction than the one that was before.
After this 7-layer of fiberglass, we covered it all with epoxy putty to even out the differences. In here, the reconstruction of the floor timbers has begun, and now it just needs to harden. Then it will be covered by putty and later sanded, and in the end, it will be painted. Now that the boat was inside, I decided to sand down the entire hull to start over with new epoxy and later anti-fouling. And this was when I discovered new difficulties and other damages that hadn't been fixed properly.
Unfortunately, I am pretty sure that I have now found some greetings from the accident, the grounding, whatever you call it, on Öland a couple of years ago, when sanding it. All of this turned up. I don't know, it's probably nothing, but still, I think that I need to make a control grinding to make sure that there is no delaminations on the.
I did find small cracks in the fiberglass, but together with the boat builder, I decided to only cover them with epoxy and then even out what I had removed with putty. However, the discovery made me worried about an area in the bow that I knew had been damaged, so I decided to take a closer look at how the repair had been done.
Up here you have an injury that was quite easy to see when I had the accident, and this was actually made at a shipyard. I'm not too sure how happy I am with the work that they done, because when I took this away, the epoxy filler, this was what I found underneath. And to me, this looks like delaminations. It might just be like superficial, but I am gonna check it out anyway, especially because I found this here on the other side that I think is actually quite deep. So this is what you just don't want to find on your boat. Remember the old fix that I found here that I was a bit worried about? So yesterday, the boat builder here in the shipyard, he grinded all of this away, and the injury here is massive, and it's all the way into the balsa, and it's delaminated, and it needs to be rebuilt with new fiberglass. And on the other side, it's even worse. So I made these injuries to my boat when I grounded the boat very firmly on Öland a summer ago. But these injuries were repaired in shipyard. But it turned out that they weren't repaired. It was just sparkle. And here you can see that it's all the way into the balsa, because my boat is a sandwich construction, and this is a very serious situation. On starboard side, I also found a repair that I wasn't satisfied about, and again, this has been grinded out, and you can see here that this injury was all the way into the balsa, and the balsa was soaking wet. It's still wet, even though there has been like a heater on for the entire night. I can still feel that it's wet. So odds are that it's wet way into the boat, and we just have to wait and dry it out. But it just really sucks, because if the old shipyard had done a proper job in the beginning, this would never have happened. In their defense, I should say that the minute I called and said that this was a serious problem, they laid down flat and acknowledged that I was right.
The final irregularities has been evened out with epoxy putty, and the keel stump has been covered with a final fiberglass mat that covers the entire structure. This was done to tie it all together.
Here you can see that the area between the new makings and the old hull here has been evened out. The keel stump has been grinded and sanded, and now everything is completely even here. New holes has been drilled here that fits perfectly with the bolts underneath. So it's very important that the surface here is completely evened out and match this surface completely, because not only is the keel bolts and the Sikiflex holding the keel, but it's the surface here in between that evens out the pressure, and that's what makes a strong construction. So if there are any kind of bumps here, you will have a lot of pressure in one place, and that creates instability when the boat is moving. And in the end, that can lead to leakage. We are testing if it's even on both sides of the keel and keel stump. And as you can maybe see now, it's a question of millimeters, which is good enough. So here we have the keel and the keel stump from the front. As you can probably see, the keel stump is now thicker than the keel is. That's because we laid so many layers of fiberglass here. Before it was the other way around. But that means that we will have to even out the differences by putting sparkle here on the keel when the keel is set.
Here is the sealant that we will put in the holes together with the keel bolts. But to tie the keel and the keel stump together, we will use flexible epoxy putty. To me, this was a new product. It's made in Sweden, and the boat builders here, they have good experience with it. When the boat had been sunk down in its rightful place, the keel bolts were tightened, and the epoxy putty was evened out. Later, an additional wider band of flexible epoxy putty was applied around the keel.
Everything has been fixed here, and everything has been painted. And now also the keel has been mounted again. Here you see that they have begun the plastering. This is a woven fabric, fiberglass mat. And over here too you see that they have begun laminating. Here is missing a point that will need to be filled as well. Over here.
As you can probably see, there is a lot more work to be done on this boat before she is ready to splash back in. So I want to encourage you to stay tuned and follow the work. The next episode is about the entire process of scraping and sanding the boat down, applying new epoxy, and in the end I will reveal what kind of anti-fouling I decided to apply.
Thank you for watching Sisi at Sea. Please remember to like, follow and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram. And if you like what you have seen, please share it with others. Until next time, fair winds and safe sailing.